Hey, what's up everybody? John here, and I'm back in the garden today. We'll do a short little update on the progress of what's happening. I got out here before the sun got high because when the sun gets up, we've had some rain, and so it's going to be humid. It feels real nice right now, a little breeze in the shade. That's the way I like it. So let's take a look. Well, here we have our lettuce, and it is really looking good. We have not actually had the opportunity yet to pick any of it. Our hope was a couple times this past week to have some salad, but we just didn't have the time. So maybe today we'll pick some and have a salad. We'll let you know. We'll let you know how it is. I might add a video either to this video or just a short little video later, just to give our reaction to our nice little lettuce. Our zucchini plants really are taking off, and it's interesting. We have found that when Kelly separated out the zucchini plants, we've only got one plant in each of these tubs. We got two plants in these, but each of these plants competing together are bigger than each of these plants individually. I don't know if that is because they are competing or who knows. I don't. If you know why these two plants together each look better than these plants individually, drop a note down below and give us your opinion. Or if you're an expert gardener, let us know. But let's take a look. Right down inside there. You see that? That, my friends, that's a zucchini. So that's super exciting. Plus, we got blooms. And I don't see one below that bloom, but anyhow, we're getting, oh, right there. There's a little zucchini too. So we got a couple on this plant. Yeah, so that's gonna be great. And I spy with my little eye little Roma tomatoes. Look at that. As this tomato plant is producing fruit, the leaves tend to curl up, and I guess maybe it's converting the energy or diverting the energy to the tomatoes instead of the leaves. I don't know. As a guess, I think it sounds like a reasonable guess, but this is our Right Stuff bell pepper, and we don't have any. Oh, looky, little bitty right there. So you see those? Those are gonna wind up being flowers that turn into peppers. And our carnival bell pepper also is gonna be producing our jalapeno. Look. Yep. I've said it before, I really like it whenever stuff starts to grow. It's exciting. And we've got our squash plants, kind of like the zucchini. The one plant together, the one plant by itself is not nearly as full as two that are growing side by side. So, but anyhow, look at that beautiful, beautiful squash blossom right there. And right down here, look at that. There's a little baby squash. And there's another little baby squash. And another little baby squash.
All right, so we are going to pollinate some squash blossoms today. So bees and other insects pollinate your plants, but it's just a little bit of extra insurance to hand pollinate. So that's what I've been doing this week. And I come out in the mornings and I'll check which blossoms are open and pollinate them if I can. And then, like I said, just a little extra insurance that they get pollinated, because I don't know if John's explained, but I'll explain as well. There are two different kinds of blossoms on a squash plant. Squash, cucumber, I think pumpkins probably as well. They're all in the same family, and so they have two different kinds of blossoms. One is a male blossom and one is a female blossom. And the male blossom, we'll show you in a little bit, but the male blossom is just has a stem on it, and the female blossom has the actual fruit behind it, the little baby squash. So that's how you can tell the difference. And so basically what you need to do is get the pollen from the male blossom into the middle of the female blossom. So I was watching some videos and somebody suggested there's a couple ways to do it. You can just pick that male blossom off, spread it open, and then just rub the inside of it against the inside of the female blossom. The video I watched suggested she doesn't do it that way because if you leave that male blossom on there, it'll still grow, and then you can use it to pollinate other female blossoms. So I like that idea. So we're going to leave the male blossom on there. Some people will then use like a Q-tip or a paintbrush to get into the male blossom and then go into the female blossom. The one video I watched, she suggested she didn't like the Q-tips because a lot of the pollen stays on that cotton. So she uses a paintbrush. So that's what I'm going with. I kind of liked that idea too. It made a lot of sense to me. So this is our little paintbrush we're going to use to hand pollinate squash blossoms. So if John will come down to the plant, this right here is a male blossom, and I don't know how well you can get in there, but you can see, here, I'll try to move this back. You can see it's just a stem. There's no fruit behind it. And this guy over here, well, girl, is a female blossom, and you can see that because there is a squash behind it. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get down here into this male blossom, and you're just gonna rub it a little bit and get some of that pollen on there. And then we're gonna come over here.
See the paintbrush.
See, there's pollen on the paintbrush.
Okay.
Okay. And then we're gonna come over here and get it down into the female blossom. And just rub it down in there. And that's pollinated. So they have to be pollinated. If the female blossom does not get pollinated, that fruit will grow a little bit and then it will die off because it has to have the pollen from the male blossom to fully develop. So we have had some bees out here. I saw some one morning when I came out this week. So I know that the bees are getting to it. This is just a little extra insurance that the pollen is getting where it's supposed to go.
So you've done this a few times over the last week or so?
Yeah, every morning on my way out. This is pretty easy for me to come out and just check. It only takes a few minutes to check and pollinate if needed.
Okay. So every time you've done it, have you sung like bow chicka bow bow?
No. I don't set the mood.
All right. Well, there is the explanation of artificial inseminating squash plants. So basically that is squash sex. Now we don't have any tomatoes yet growing over here, but we do have flowers coming on there. So it won't be long before they're putting on some fruit. We have marigolds and nasturtiums that are growing. No flowers yet, but the plants are. Right here's our cucumbers. Now you see up to here, these right here, the short ones, they are a different variety than the ones down there. But let's take a look right here real quick. I mean, they've all got little flowers. Man, down inside there, look at all those flowers. So hopefully you're gonna be putting on real quick. These short ones, they are more of a pickling type cucumber, and these are more of a slicing and eating type of cucumber. Look how tall they're getting. As they grow up, we've got to make sure that they attach themselves so they can be supported as they grow. Look at all the yellow flowers on there. And if I can get in here on this, do you see that? Right there? That is a little baby cucumber. So our cabbages looking pretty nice. Little heads of cabbage in most of these here. Now this double plant, we got a head of cabbage there, and we got a little smaller head of cabbage, but double cabbage plant, cabbage on each side. Of course, this was the one that got eaten by the worms, and it almost looks like it's got multiple super tiny heads of cabbage attached. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. And I can't believe that this one right here, I can't believe that that was so frostbit that it only had like 2 leaves that had green on it and like 6 leaves that were all pink and red and about to just die off. And it's actually got a nice full look to it now. It's got the little cabbage in the middle. So if we get some edible cabbage out of that, that's just gonna be a bonus. Now our onions over here, I don't know what's going on with them. I mean, we've got some, the size is real nice, but a lot of them get bent over. And we've had some wind and some rain and stuff, and I think it has bent a few, but there's some that just bent over on their own. So I hope that they're gonna go ahead and do good and produce, but I don't know, we'll see. Whenever we pull them up, we'll see if they're edible. But the stalks of them, even if it's laid over, they still look good. I don't know. So we had to come to Lowe's for some fertilizer, and the bees are active. Now look at these beans. Look how full they are growing up the teepees. Now you see a little white on there. That's because if you remember last week we had, we'll go down here and I'll show you. See how lacy that is? How the leaves are just about eaten up? Well, we had Japanese beetles and they were thick. So we had to do something about it. I don't know if you know anything about Japanese beetles, but they can decimate certain plants, and they really love the beans for whatever reason. So we can't let them get established, and it's probably going to be a fight most of the summer. But for now, we doctored all of the plants. especially the beans here. And I've not seen one in a few days. So hopefully that is the answer, at least for now. So, but now we're waiting on the beans to flower so they can actually start producing. But look here how this is just growing up, and we're training it up here on the string. You know that spaghetti squash plant that just hasn't grown? Look at that. It has gone and put on a couple of squash blossoms. And over here, we got squash blossoms on these big old plants. Look at this. They're growing up here. Now it's not vined out very far. It's more growing tall. But see that runner right there? It goes all the way over there. So it's gonna eventually fill up that empty spot there. And then we got putting a runner off that's going all the way over there, and it's gonna fill up that empty spot. Now we're gonna have spaghetti squash. Okay, now we got more tomatoes over here. Check those little bitty guys out. Starting to put on over here too. So both of these, and yeah, all of these here are red beefsteaks, and they are putting on some small little tomatoes right now. Hopefully they will grow and get big. More beefsteak, putting on fruit. You know, it may not be too long until we have more produce than we can eat. And that would be okay. All right, so what are we doing with the tomatoes?
We are, well, with the tomatoes and a number of other plants today, we're fertilizing. It's been about a month, 3 weeks to a month since we fertilized. So we're using this Job's organic heirloom tomato fertilizer on all of the tomatoes, and the size they're at right now, I'm doing about 2 cups per plant, and you just sprinkle it around the edge of, you sprinkle it around the drip line, which is basically like the edge of the plant. And then I'll come back in, once I'm done putting it down, I'll come back and water it in, and just basically it's just putting water on top of it so it starts to soak in. So that's what we're doing today. That's what we went to Home Depot for, is to get fertilizer. So, or Lowe's, whichever one. We went to both actually, so there you go.
All right. Grow plants grow. All right, now let's take a look at the strawberries. As we said before, they have put on runners. So we got little plants coming up here and there, all throughout in the middle of all the bigger plants. But as they're putting off runners, they're also putting on berries. Take a look at that. Over here, cute little grouping. I checked these last night even, And these two right here, the smaller ones, they were still mostly green. So just overnight they reddened up real good. So yeah, that's super exciting. There we go. We got strawberries. This is our cantaloupe. For weeks and weeks, it just really put on just like a leaf here or there. And it looks like in the last week, it's almost doubled in size sitting there. So that is promising. That makes me hopeful that it is going to just explode and take off. Like I said before, it's about a 100-day crop. So there's still plenty of time for it to really take off and vine out and put on fruit. But I think it's still just growing a little slower than most people's, but it's just been a weird year. So anyhow, progress. We like progress. All right, so I did the intro a little bit earlier whenever it was nice and cool out here and the sun wasn't completely out. It was nice and shady. But since then, after I did the quick update tour, we got busy. Kelly and I got busy out here, and we've been doing stuff quite a bit ever since. And so we have fertilized and watered and gone to Lowe's and Home Depot and Target, ran some errands and gotten some more fertilizer and some pruners and some other stuff. And so we've been doing garden business. So I hadn't intended to be out here in the sunshine because I'm fat and lazy, but I'm out here and we're keeping the update going. That is the end of our update for this week. And so I really do appreciate you guys watching. If you have any comments about any of the things that we're doing here, any questions, put them down in the comment section. If you have any advice, leave that down there too. We really appreciate that. And like I said, we really appreciate you guys watching. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you want to know whenever videos come out, hit the notification bell. Hit the notification bell. Anyhow, I will get off of here and try to stop stumbling over my words. And you guys have a great rest of your day, whatever day it is that you're watching this. And I will see you on the next video.